After 4 seconds, the Viltrumite turns its head and
done
looks
yet?
at him the way you'd look at a moth bouncing off a window. The backhand takes a millisecond. There isn't enough A-train left to fly
He crossed his arms like he was already in the coffin.
off a window.
He
The
said, "Yeah, I'm
backhand
done."
takes a millisecond. There
He's like,
isn't enough.
"Yep, I'm done. I'll just sit here a bit and you take over the world. Do what you gotta do, buddy." The Homelander survived a Viltrumite invasion. He really put Homelander against Viltrumites. There's that. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? We've seen what the Viltrumites can do, especially when it comes to like Hulk, Thor, you know, so the whole Invincible universe is probably way stronger than Homelander could ever dream of. They're about to be cut. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. They do a wish.
Tuesday morning in Manhattan.
Tuesday
Homelander
morning.
is hovering 40 feet above the crowd outside Vought Tower, cape catching the wind. Smiling the smile he practices in the mirror. The cameras are rolling. The fans are screaming. Everything is normal. Then the sky splits open. Not a crack, not distant thunder. A full, violent tear across the upper atmosphere, like something punched through it from the outside. Every window in Midtown shatters simultaneously. The pressure wave rolls down Fifth Avenue and flips yellow cabs like cardboard. People are bleeding from their ears before they understand what they heard. Three shapes are falling through the tear, wrapped in superheated plasma, moving so fast the air around them catches fire. 3, that's all, and they are not slowing down. Vought has spent 30 years engineering the 7 into something close to gods. Today, they meet the difference
Not really.
between a chemical that makes you strong and a species that survived millions of years selecting for nothing but war. The question isn't whether Earth's heroes win, it's how many seconds each of them lasts.
Right. Okay, that's so much better. That's so much better. How long can a Homelander last? Right? How long can the boys last before these dudes come in and just rip them apart? Instantly. I mean, I would think the fights would be over in seconds. You know what I mean?
The sky falls. The 3 figures hit the upper atmosphere at roughly 38,000 miles per hour. The friction vaporizes the cloud cover above Manhattan and turns the sky from blue to a deep furnace red. No weapons fire, no demands. They don't bother cloaking. These are Viltrumites, a humanoid species engineered by their own civilization for galactic conquest, with cellular density approximating the outer shell of a collapsed star and a habit of civilizing planets by killing half the population and forcing the rest into compliance. They don't announce themselves because nothing on Earth has ever required them to. The Deep gets the call first. He's already in the Hudson, which gives him the edge. Home turf. He's pulsed out the call to every aquatic creature inside 50 miles and lined them up. Whales, a deep-sea leviathan he coaxed up from a trench off the Jersey Shore. He's genuinely excited because for the first time in his career, his power set looks purpose-built for the job in front of him. The Viltrumites have to cross the river to reach lower Manhattan. He's gonna drag them down and drown them in the deep. The first Viltrumite hits the water at full speed without breaking stride. What happens next is supercavitation, and it's brutal. An object moving at that velocity through liquid doesn't displace water. It flashes the surrounding fluid to vapor from pressure differential alone, leaving a collapsing vacuum bubble the size of a city bus behind it. When that bubble collapses, it generates a shock wave equivalent to several tons of TNT detonating underwater. The Deep, his whales, his Leviathan are all.
Bro had a second. He had a second of like, hey, that doesn't work. And just, oh, that was over in a second. I ain't know what hit him.
All inside that radius. The pressure wave doesn't drown him. It compresses him, every organ at once, faster than his nervous system can register the sound. His body sinks to the riverbed in pieces. Survival tier? F. He was dead before the water registered the impact. Translucent takes a different read. He's in the Vought Tower lobby. Invisible, skin shifted into its carbon metamaterial configuration. He's tested in labs. Bullets don't scratch him. Explosives don't mark him. He watched the readouts himself. He just has to wait it out, stay unseen, and survive by being impossible to touch. The second Viltrumite lands outside the tower and registers on seismographs in Connecticut. He stands up from the crater he made of the front steps, rolls his neck, and breathes slowly through his nose. His olfactory system is calibrated to detect trace biochemicals across a kilometer. He smells cortisol, adrenaline, sweat baking off a terrified body somewhere in the lobby. He walks straight to Translucent's exact position and closes his hand around an invisible throat. Translucent's carbon skin was engineered to resist external blunt trauma. It was never tested against torsional force applied from inside the grip. The Viltrumite twists. The carbon lattice fractures in sequence, each molecular bond snapping like links in a chain under tension.
This is humiliation. Okay, this is humiliation. I'm so glad Nerd Science is doing this to the boys because he knows they need to get their look, right? And I haven't even watched the show, and I know they need to get their ass. I know they do. I mean, just like the Invincible characters too, I'm sure, but like... Like, these guys aren't heroes.
And the sound carries 2 blocks down the street. Survival tier? F. Unbreakable just means nobody strong enough has tried yet. The speed of sound versus the speed of light.
Hey, easy! What the hell are you doing?
Wait, it's not what it looks like. It's a job, not what you think.
Save it. Someone like you will do anything for money.
This one deal pays for tonight's electricity and water.
Baby, I'm sorry. I'll try harder.
Let's figure out food first.
Like, what type of ad is that for a game? Like, who? Like, that does not look like a game.
Team doesn't wait for the body count to finish before they push A-Train out the door. The logic is clean on paper. Speed wins fights. Speed changes every equation, so he does the one thing that's ever worked for him when things get bad. He goes back to the drug. He injects raw, uncut compound V into his femoral artery in the stairwell. His heart rate spikes past 300. His perception of time compresses. The world slows to a crawl, and he steps into the street at somewhere north of Mach 3, roughly 2,300 miles per hour, which in normal terms means he crosses Midtown before a raindrop falls an inch. He locks onto the Viltrumite, engaging a National Guard convoy on 42nd Street, and commits to a sustained blitz. Thousands of strikes per second, every one landing clean. The Viltrumite doesn't move, not a step back, not a flinch. A-Train's fists are connecting with something that has the atomic density of a collapsed star's outer shell. And all that kinetic energy isn't going anywhere useful. It's transferring back through his knuckles, his wrists, his elbows. He's been hitting a wall so hard he's destroying himself. And the wall is bored. After 4 seconds, the Viltrumite turns its head and looks at him the way you'd look at a moth bouncing off a window. The backhand takes a millisecond. There isn't enough A-Train left to fly.
He crossed his arms like he was already in the coffin.
Off a window.
He
the
said, "Yeah, I'm done."
takes a millisecond.
He's like,
isn't enough.
"Yep, I'm done. I'll just sit here a bit and you take over the world. Do what you gotta do, buddy." He's like, "Thanks."
A-Train left to fly through a building. The mist that used to be a person settles over 2 city blocks. Survival tier F. Speed only matters
bro,
when the other guy.
This is the first time we've ever seen F, 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 F. It's on the right team, too.
Is slower. Starlight buys herself 90 more seconds. She doesn't try to outrun them or out-hit them. She goes for the grid. Every power line, every transformer, every backup generator feeding New York City, she pulls all of it in at once. The eastern seaboard goes dark from Maryland to Massachusetts, and she channels everything she's holding into a focused plasma beam aimed directly at the Viltrumite called Omni-Man. The beam sits around 5,000 Kelvin. Hot enough to vaporize steel in under a second. It would kill anything that grew up on Earth. Omni-Man walks through it slowly, almost theatrically, his suit scorching at the edges, his skin unmarked. Viltrumites have survived atmospheric entry from interplanetary speeds. They've passed through stellar corona layers north of 15 million Kelvin. Starlight's best shot registers to him the way a hot shower registers to us. She isn't burning him. She's announcing where she's standing. He flicks a chunk of rubble at her, maybe 20 pounds, close range. At the velocity he throws it, the impact force exceeds anything her eyes were designed to handle. She goes down screaming, hands over her face, vision gone. Survival tier D. Her power bought her time. Her body couldn't cash the check.
F. Nerd Science had the thing. He got a thing for that John, because there's no way. She got an F. She got a D. No way. What was an F? A-Train used his powers a bit. It was equivalent to A-Train buying some time, using his powers a bit, and him getting smacked out. He did the same thing. How does she get a D? No, that's no. F. That's an F for us.
Warriors stand. F. Energy doesn't work. Speed doesn't work. Invulnerability doesn't work. There's one variable left that nobody has tested against a Viltrumite, and that's raw, concentrated physical force applied by someone built for combat from the ground up. Queen Maeve has been watching the feed from a mobile unit in a parking garage on 47th.
I'm sorry, but if Thor hit Thrag with a full force Mjolnir hit with lightning on it, I don't think she's gonna do anything. Like, come on now. No way.
Already made her decision. She doesn't suit up for the cameras. She grabs her sword.
Now
walks into time.
She realistically probably gets the D, right? She gets the D. For sure. For sure.
Square and intercepts Omni-Man before he crosses Broadway. This isn't a tactic, it's a challenge, face to face. Compound V gave her bone density roughly 4 times human baseline and a muscular output that lets her swing that sword with enough force to split an armored personnel carrier lengthwise. She's done it. It's on camera. She swings at Omni-Man's neck with everything she has, and the blade connects. He bleeds. 1 drop.
Really?
A thin red line opens on his cheek. For half a second, there's something like surprise in his eyes, because nothing on a planet he was assigned to has marked him in a long time. He looks at the blood on his fingertip. Then he looks at her. She gets that half second to feel like she won. His fist catches her square in the sternum and launches her straight up. Not at an angle, not across a building, vertically. She clears the cloud layer in under 3 seconds. At 50 kilometers altitude, the atmospheric pressure approaches 0. The temperature falls to minus 70, and her body is decelerating from the impact. The G-load alone ruptures the small vessels lining her organs. Her ears burst. Her lungs, still trying to expand into air that isn't there, hemorrhage. She's unconscious before she stops climbing. She doesn't come back down in one piece. Survival tier D. She drew blood. That was more than anyone else managed.
See, now that's an actual D.
It didn't matter. Black Noir doesn't try brute force because he knows what brute force buys today. He uses the
Black Noir, this is an F. Because as cool as he is, and as stealthy as he is, and master assassin-y as he is, he's getting destroyed. The only reason why Queen Maeve drew blood is because she's actually somewhat strong in a brute force type of manner, and Black Noir doesn't seem like he's on that brute force type of deal.
one thing Vought engineered him to do well: disappear and reappear exactly where the target least expects it. He spends 6 minutes on a rooftop above the wreckage of the Vought Tower entrance, watching the Viltrumite called Conquest stand over what used to be the lobby. Noir is loaded with every weapons-grade compound Vaught's R&D division has produced, including a synthesized nerve agent with a lethality index that kills anything with a central nervous system in under 4 seconds. He drops perfectly, blades into the gap between neck and collarbone, toxin delivered directly into the bloodstream before Conquest turns around. Conquest turns around anyway. He looks down at the blades lying in pieces at his feet. His blood neutralized the toxin before it cleared the injection site. He takes Noir by both legs and pulls in opposite directions. And that's the end of the story for him.
I wasn't
Survival
expecting
tier.
to see that. God damn, bro. That's not good. Not good at all. I told you, like, for a split second, I thought maybe because he got the toxin in his blood, maybe he was able to, like, maybe it was gonna do something, but nah. His blood cleared it in 4 seconds, he says. So, I mean, it was already over before it even began. You know what I mean?
F. The whole team is gone in under 10 minutes. And this isn't even the Viltrumite Empire's main force. False god versus true emperor. Everyone else is dead, and Homelander knows it. He's been watching the feeds from the sky, hovering over the smoke rising over Midtown, and the thing crawling across his face right now isn't grief. It's something he's never actually felt before, and it takes him a few seconds to name it. Fear. Real fear. Not the performed vulnerability he trots out for press conferences, the kind that sits in your gut like ice water and doesn't move. He finds the third Viltrumite, Grand Regent Thrag, the figure their hierarchy calls Emperor, standing in the middle of what used to be 6th Avenue, completely still, hands behind his back, surrounded by a radius of total devastation he caused simply by landing. No weapon in his hands, no armor beyond his own body. He looks like he's waiting for a bus. Homelander doesn't say anything. He charges his heat vision to the maximum output he's ever pushed it to and fires both beams directly into Thrag's chest from 40 feet away. He holds it, pushes harder. The asphalt around Thrag's feet melts, then the concrete beneath it. At full output, Homelander's heat vision sits in the 30,000 Kelvin range above the surface temperature of the hottest Class O stars in the galaxy. Thrag doesn't step back. He doesn't raise a hand. He stands there while the beams wash over him and tilts his head slightly, like he's listening to something faint in the...
He's like, oh no, I just used my... That's the face of somebody who just realized, like, my strongest ability did nothing. It's over. No hope. No hope.
Distance. After about 5 seconds, he speaks. He tells Homelander
He's about to dip. Look. He's about to dip.
For about 5 seconds, he speaks.
No.
He tells Homelander he is the strongest creature on the planet, and that this planet is so far from anything that matters, it doesn't have a catalog number yet in Viltrumite conquest records. A big fish in a pond so small it's basically a puddle. Homelander cuts the beam. His hands are shaking. He does the one thing his ego has never allowed him to do in front of a crowd. He runs. He punches through the sound barrier heading due north, climbing hard, putting distance between himself and whatever that thing is. The rational part of his brain has finally taken the controls, and it's screaming at him to leave the atmosphere entirely. Thrag crosses the same distance in a fraction of a second. He's in front of Homelander at 3,000 feet before Homelander's mind finishes processing the decision to flee. One hand, already extended, it closes it around Homelander's jaw. This is what Compound V actually is at the structural level, a catalyst that pushes human cellular biology past its natural ceiling. Thrag's grip pressure at full application has been calculated, from environmental damage in his published feats to exceed forces measured in the hundreds of megatons. Homelander's jaw doesn't shatter. It compresses uniformly, faster than pain signals reach his brain. His skull collapses from the temples first, then the crown. The way a hollow aluminum can goes when you squeeze it from the sides. Thrag drops what's left without looking at it. Survival tier, F. Compound V turned a human into a god by...
There was only 2 people on his list. So in reality, Homelander wasn't even the ceiling. He wasn't that. It was either the Queen Maeve or the other one, the heat beam John, because she got a D too. Homelander got an F. That man got cut.
Human standards, Viltrumite genetics turned a species into a planetary weapon over millions of years of selective pressure. Those aren't 2 points on the same scale. Earth didn't fall to an army. It fell to a scouting party of 3. The 7 were never gods. They were lab results in capes. And today, the experiment met its control group. A chemical engineered over decades cannot keep pace with biology engineered over geological time. And the math of that gap doesn't care how famous you are at the bottom of it. If you want to see how the Avengers hold up against a full Viltrumite invasion force, drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives.
Didn't we already see Avengers versus Viltrumites? I thought we did that. Let me know what you guys thought about that down in the comments below. Could Homelander survive a Viltrumite invasion? Rather, how long would Homelander last in a Viltrumite invasion? Seconds, right? They got destroyed, bro.